Remember when Magnus Carlsen broke an impossible tie in the 2018 World Chess Championship? Or the time Anatoly Karpov scored 3 consecutive wins after starting off slow? From strategic brilliance to nail-biting tension, these are the best comebacks in chess history. First off, Bobby Fischer's 1972 World Chess Championship comeback against Boris Spassky. The match that went down in Iceland is still one of the most iconic events in chess history. During Cold War tensions, Fischer, an American, challenged the reigning Soviet champion Spassky. The match began with Fischer losing the first game due to a dispute, boycotting the second and defaulting the third, giving Spassky a 2-0 lead. With Spassky leading 2-0, Fischer threw down the gauntlet, demanding the removal of TV cameras. A last-minute agreement shifted the battleground away from the lenses. In Game 3, backstage in a small room, Fischer secured his first win against Spassky, and the momentum skyrocketed. Spassky faced a tough moment after a painful defeat, but he was still leading. Fischer's mistake in the fourth game could have given Spassky an even bigger lead, but Fischer's narrow escape gave him momentum. Winning the 5th and 6th games, Fischer took the lead. While Fischer found his groove, Spassky's play seemed unsure. In the 7th game, Spassky's risky move backfired, resulting in a draw. After a series of wins for Fischer and a quiet draw in the 12th, Spassky trailed by 2 points. But in the critical 13th game, Spassky made a final mistake, in a drawn endgame giving Fischer a clear edge. The following 7 draws, while generally good, had a notable exception in the 14th game, marred by mutual mistakes. Despite a timeout and 4 free days, the exhaustion from the 13th game lingered. The subsequent 6 draws showcased good play, including the 10th 19th game. In the 21st game, Spassky needed a win to retain his title, but fell short, going under in a drawn endgame. Fischer's comeback meant he won the match, showing versatility in handling various positions, tactical alertness, and limited positional errors. Now this next Soviet chess grandmaster might have lost the overall match, but his comeback was still impressive. Let's look at the 1978 World Chess Championship match between Anatoly Karpov and Viktor Korchnoi. The match was a race to 6 wins, and Karpov was initially running the show with a solid 4-1 lead, stretching it to 5-2. But hold on, Korchnoi wasn't ready to give up yet. In a crazy turnaround, he made a major comeback and won 3 out of 4 games, games 28 through 31, to level the score at 5-5. Game 28 was a real brain teaser, narrowing the margin to 5-3. Then in Game 29, Korchnoi stuck to his endgame magic, pulling off a meticulous 79-move victory to make it a 1-game difference. After a brief pause with a draw in Game 30, Korchnoi went right back to what was working: endgames. He secured Game 31 with another bold pawn sacrifice, breaking through with his king. Now here's the twist. In Game 32, Korchnoi tossed aside his usual Spanish and French openings and went for the Pierce, a move he'd pulled earlier in the match. But in the end, Karpov, keeping the queens on, held on to the title. Next up, the 1986 World Chess Championship match between Garry Kasparov and Anatoly Karpov. Kasparov, the challenger, had faced Karpov in their infamous 1985 match, which was controversially terminated. Now, the rematch was set for 24 games. And here's the deal. Kasparov had to win at least 12 to keep his title. The early rounds saw Kasparov cruising with a solid 3-point lead after 16 games. But hold on, Karpov wasn't ready to surrender. In an unexpected comeback, he scored 3 consecutive wins, tying the score with just 5 games left. Feel the suspense? 2 intense draws followed, but then came the moment. Kasparov sealed the deal by winning the 22nd game and settling for a draw on the 23rd. That was it. The World Championship was still his. 24th game? It was just to figure out the prize money, ending in a draw and securing Kasparov's claim to the winner's share. He had less luck in this next match. The 2000 World Chess Championship match between Vladimir Konnick and Garry Kasparov. In a best-of-16 games format, Garry Kasparov, the reigning champion, faced off against Vladimir Konnick. To everyone's surprise, Konnick emerged victorious with 2 wins, 13 draws, and no losses, becoming the 14th World Chess Champion for those who followed the Lineal Championship. Konnick started the match with a strategy that involved a solid defense and counterattacking play. He won the second game and managed to draw the rest. neutralizing Kasparov's aggressive style. This approach frustrated Kasparov, who found it challenging to break through Kramnik's defenses. In a pivotal moment, Kramnik won the 10th game, taking the lead in the match. He continued to hold his ground and secured additional victories, ultimately winning the match 8.5 to 6.5. Kramnik's ability to maintain his composure and outmaneuver Kasparov, especially in critical moments, showed his strategic brilliance and defensive skills. Kramnik's victory marked the end of Kasparov's 15-year reign as world champion, and established Kramnik as a significant force in the chess world. But no one could have anticipated the winner of this tiebreaker. The 2012 World Chess Championship match between Viswanathan Anand and Boris Spassky. It was a closely contested battle that culminated in a thrilling tiebreaker. Anand, the reigning champion, faced Spassky, a highly respected challenger. The match kicked off with 12 games starting on May 11, and if things got tied at 6-6, there were crazy tiebreakers lined up. Rapid games, blitz, and even an Armageddon showdown. The initial 6 games? All draws, keeping us on edge. But here's where the real drama unfolded. Spassky took the lead in Game 7, catching Anand off guard with some bold moves. Yet the very next day, Anand pulled off a spectacular move, trapping Spassky's queen on move 17, the fastest loss in WCC history. More draws followed, with only one of the first 12 games reaching the time control at move 40. The tiebreaker, consisting of 4 rapid games, was the decisive phase. Now, here's where it gets exciting. Anand, known for his rapid play skills, was the top pick for tiebreakers. Anand and Spassky drew the first 3 rapid games, intensifying the suspense. In the 4th rapid game, Anand played with precision, securing a win and retaining his world championship title. But the only comeback more impressive than this one was probably what Magnus Carlsen did. The 2018 World Chess Championship match between Vladimir Konnick and Magnus Carlsen was a highly anticipated encounter that ended in a dramatic tiebreaker. In an intense playoff for the 2018 World Chess Championship, Magnus Carlsen showed a stunning comeback, securing a convincing 3-0 victory against Fabiano in rapid games. All 12 classical games had ended in draws, setting the stage for a rapid showdown. Carlsen's strategic brilliance unfolded in a critical moment during the first game when, despite some inaccuracies, he turned the tide. The match's turning point, as Carlsen described it, propelled him to a calm and decisive manner. Facing just a 10-minute break between games, Caruana had the daunting task of bouncing back. Despite glimpses of hope, a rush move by Caruana in the 21st move proved fatal. Carlsen, needing only a draw in the final game, secured victory with a display of flawless chess. Caruana, expressing disappointment, reflected on the missed chances in the classical portion. Ultimately, Carlsen's ability to find his best form in the tiebreaks marked the triumph of his comeback strategy, solidifying his World Chess Champion title. Finally, we've got an intense chess thriller in the 2010 World Chess Championship. In the 2010 World Chess Championship, it was a showdown between champion Viswanathan Anand and challenger Vasilij Topalov. The match kicked off with surprises, especially Topalov dominating in the early games. Anand showed his skills by making a comeback in the Catalan opening. Despite Topalov's aggressive play, Anand took the lead in Game 4. The tension heightened with a 5.5 tie leading to the final game. In a strategic move, Anand opted for a drawish defense, the Lasker defense. This decision proved pivotal as he adeptly neutralized Topalov's attempts, eventually securing a winning position. Anand's resilience and strategic brilliance during this comeback moment clinched the victory, ending the match without the need for tiebreaks. That's all for the best comebacks in chess history. But if you want to catch some more amazing games, make sure you subscribe.